Hello, welcome to back to my channel, Ted B Pony Cars. I have two cars. I have two Mustangs. I have a '68 Fastback that I'm in the process of working on, and I have my '84 GT that I've had since 1984. I bought it when it was 20 years old with 9,700 miles on it, and I've had it ever since. I think could have been the first owner. I'm not sure. I think the car came out of part of a dealer stock car as far as for executives. There's a certain amount of these 20th anniversary cars that were given out to the executives to drive for a while, and I think that's what this car was. But it's an '84. It's got the 4-barrel, 302 T-tops, 5-speed, power windows, no air conditioning, which a lot of them had air conditioning. There's also, if you look at a lot of them, they have different interiors. Different interior. Try to figure out how to turn my thing around here.
So, like I was saying, some of them have different interiors. This is have like different stitching or different patterns. I've seen some online, some YouTube videos of guys doing theirs. The interior is all pretty much original. It's all in pretty good shape. I'd say it's really good shape. I did do a few years ago. I did some work to the seats in these areas. The bolster areas were worn out, so I was able to find. I had a guy in town here that does upholstery work, and we were able to trace down some of the original red interior fabric. So we fixed that, and then I think we had to get some of this material too, to stripe with the lines in it. So we did that. Took the two seats apart, re-glued all the bolsters, put them back together, and everything looks pretty good. The carpet's in really good shape. The dashboard, I think, is the only thing that's got a crack on it, but everything else is in really good shape. It's got 75,000 miles on it. So right now I have the transmission out, and I'll get to that in a second. You see the T-tops. And don't ever let one of those break, because you'll never find them. I had one get broken on me probably in the late 80s, and it took me almost a year to get one back then. So it's a 5-liter, 4-barrel, carbureted engine. It needs a little bit of work. It's kind of leaking a little bit. Years ago I did a manifold gasket because I was getting some antifreeze dripping, and that's been happening again too. But I don't really drive the car a lot. I don't mind keeping an eye on it. I do need it. I think I need a radiator though, because there is a leak up at the top. But the car runs cool, so I don't really overheat or anything. It just boils out. Got the TRX radials, which are pretty, the one on the passenger side is pretty much worn out on the front. But these tires are old, dry rotted. They hold air. So the reason for the video is on my channel, you'll see I have a video of the car backing out of the driveway, and there were a few comments about the clutch. And the clutch is, since I had it done probably with about 35,000 miles, and a little while after that the clutch started slipping a little bit. But because I drive this car so infrequently, although every year I do drive it, and I didn't worry so much about it. But a couple weeks ago when I took the car out, it was like the end of the road for the clutch, and I had trouble just getting it back into the driveway and into the garage. So it's due, and a lot of wear and tear on the parts. I spent the last week or so just cleaning up. There's a transmission, bell housing, everything was caked in clutch parts and oil, because I believe the rear main seal is probably bad too. So we're going to change that. There's a lot of cracking in the flywheel. The clutch, missing parts on the clutch. It's in bad shape, obviously. Definitely time. So we're going to change all these parts. Along the transmission cross member, which apparently looks like these things fail after a while. Anyways, they're rusty. The bushing part is all cracked and rusted. So Let's get under the car real quick. My plan today is to get under here and finish cleaning up the clutch, the back of the motor, before I put everything back together. And see, it's pretty slick. I was thinking about pulling the motor, put on new gaskets and everything, but you know, I don't really think it's that necessary. I think I'm just going to change the rear main seal, clean everything up, and then, like I said before, the pan gasket doesn't really seem to be leaking too much. A drop here or there, I'm not worried about. But we'll do the intake manifold in better weather, and then I'll do the radiator at the same time. So that's my 84. I could look, if you look at, see how they did in the factory when it came online. It probably said with 5-speed, they just must have broke out with the plasma cutter and ripped a hole in it. Pretty rough. So, but it's in pretty good shape underneath. You know, obviously some jack damage underneath. Not really any rust. I got a little bit of a rust on the passenger side, right in this area here, about the size of a quarter. A little rust where it's flaking off. But everything else is in pretty good shape under here. You know, she runs. She's a reliable car for being her age. So. Car's been through a lot. Been hit a few times, but she's a survivor. That's what I call her. She runs good. I had the carburetor rebuilt probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I had a guy do it. He put bigger jets in it, so it made a big difference as far as power. You know, when you kick the 4 barrels in, it really made a difference. So that's about it. And if you like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. You'll get some interest in this channel. And after I get this transmission in next week, it should be coming in. I'll post another video. The clutches I bought, it's HDX, I believe. It's like it's actually for an 86 and up to like 93, I think. And it's a 10.5-inch clutch, and it's supposed to fit. So that's what everybody says to do to upgrade the clutch. So that's what we're doing. Coming with a new flywheel and all the parts. So, all right. So check out my channel again. At some point we'll be posting another video, an updated video on the 68 GT fastback. This was a very productive year. I got the car, actually the majority of the car painted. I mean, the fenders, hood, trunk, and doors are not painted yet, but the body of the car is painted, the interior's in. I'll give you a quick shot if you want. Yeah, it was a shell. Beginning of the year was a shell. You know, it's all, dashboard's all done, all put together. We got the pad to put on the steering wheel. The wood's a little cracked, but I'm just gonna put a wrapper on there. Everything else is good. It's a bench seat. You know, not too many of the bench seat cars. But enough of that. I'll post another one on this later on. All right. Thanks a lot. If you like my video, please like, please subscribe. Ted B. Pony Cars.